Jason lived in the cozy house on Elm Street, and right next door was Noah. For a long time, their friendship was built on polite waves across driveways and quick, friendly smiles. When Jason watered his flowers, Noah might be getting his mail, and they'd nod. When Noah left for work in the morning, Jason might be having his coffee on his porch, and they'd exchange a small wave. These little moments were simple and sweet, a quiet rhythm to their days. They were good neighbors, always ready with a kind word if their paths crossed for longer. Like the time Jason's newspaper blew in Noah's yard, and Noah brought it over with a grin. Or when Noah's car battery died, and Jason quickly offered his jumper cables. These were small acts, the kind that build a friendly neighborhood. But mostly, it was just those gentle smiles, a silent hello that brightened their ordinary afternoons. Neither of them knew just how much more those smiles were about to mean. One sunny afternoon, a lovely smell filled Noah's kitchen. He had been baking, a hobby he enjoyed, and the counter was now covered with warm, golden brown chocolate chip cookies. They looked perfect, soft in the middle with slightly crisp edges. As he put the last batch on the cooling rack, Noah found himself thinking of Jason. He wasn't sure why, but the idea of sharing these fresh cookies with his neighbor just felt right. He picked out a few of the best ones and carefully placed them on a small plate. He thought about how Jason had helped him that one time with his car, and how he always had a kind smile ready. It was a small thing, really, but it made Noah want to do something nice in return. He wrapped the plate in a clean kitchen towel, feeling a little excited. It was just a plate of cookies, but it felt like more. He took a deep breath, adjusted the plate in his hand, and walked across his lawn towards Jason's front door. Noah stood on Jason's porch, the warm plate of cookies in his hands. He took a deep breath and knocked softly on the door. He heard some movement inside, and then the door opened. Jason stood there, looking a little surprised, but his usual friendly smile quickly appeared. "Noah, what a nice surprise," Jason said, his eyes going to the covered plate. Noah grinned, feeling a little blush creep up his neck. "Hey, Jason, I hope I'm not bothering you." He held out the plate. "I was just baking and ended up with too many of these. Thought you might like some. Besides," he added, a playful sparkle in his eye, "after you helped me with my car the other day, I figured I owed you something sweeter than just a thank you." He winked. The air between them suddenly felt a little lighter, a little more charged than usual. Jason's eyes twinkled. He let out a warm, genuine laugh, a sound Noah hadn't heard before. It was a rich, easy sound that made Noah's stomach do a little flip. "Sweeter, huh?" Jason chuckled, taking the plate of cookies. "Well, I certainly won't say no to these. They smell amazing." He held the plate closer, sniffing the delicious scent of chocolate and sugar. He was truly charmed by Noah's unexpected visit and his playful words. It wasn't just the cookies, it was the thought, the little joke, the sparkle in Noah's eye. It felt different from their usual brief hellos. Jason felt a pleasant warmth spread through him. He looked at Noah, a smile still playing on his lips. "You really didn't have to, but thank you. This is a very sweet surprise." He emphasized the word sweet with a knowing look that made Noah blush a little more, but in a happy way. "So what kind are these?" Jason asked, peeling back the towel to reveal the perfectly baked cookies. "They look like chocolate chip, but there's something else in there." His voice was curious, inviting. Noah found himself relaxing, the initial nervousness fading. "Just classic chocolate chip, but I had a tiny bit of sea salt to make the chocolate pop," he explained, a proud smile on his face. "It's my secret touch." "Ah, un secret ingrédient." "Even better," Jason said, his gaze lingering on Noah for a moment before returning to the cookies. "Well, come on in. Don't just stand there on the porch. We can't let these delicious treats get cold." Noah stepped inside, a sense of ease washing over him. It felt natural, not forced. They moved from the doorway into the living room, a space Noah had only glimpsed from outside. The conversation flowed easily, far beyond their usual quick hellos. They talked about the cookies, about baking, about their day, each word feeling lighter and more open than any conversation they'd had before. The air was filled with a new, comfortable hum. As they talked, sharing bits of their lives, small moments sparked between them. Jason would catch Noah's eye, a warm, soft look that lingered just a second longer than a polite glance should. Noah would smile back, a quiet blush coloring his cheeks. When Jason took a bite of a cookie, his eyes would close in pleasure, and then open to meet Noah's, a silent message of how much he liked them. Noah felt a happy flutter in his chest each time. Noah noticed the way Jason's hair fell, just so, the crinkles around his eyes when he laughed. Jason, in turn, found himself drawn to Noah's earnest expression, the way his hands moved when he talked about something he was passionate about. These weren't just friendly exchanges anymore. There was a new current flowing between them, a quiet hum of something more. Each shared smile held a new warmth, a gentle invitation. It was as if their eyes were saying what their words hadn't quite reached yet, hinting at a sweet, unspoken question. As they settled into the cozy living room, munching on the delicious cookies, their conversation drifted from baking to other things they enjoyed. Jason mentioned his love for old movies, and Noah's eyes lit up. "No way. I just watched Singing in the Rain last night for the 10th time," Noah exclaimed, a wide smile spreading across his face. Jason's eyes widened in surprise and delight. "Seriously? That's one of my favorites. The dancing is just incredible." Then, Jason talked about his small garden and how much he loved growing herbs. Noah leaned forward. "I've been wanting to start a little herb garden myself. Do you have any tips for rosemary? Mine always seems to struggle." They shared stories about their favorite movie scenes and tips for keeping plants alive. Each discovery of shared interest made the room feel a little warmer, the smiles a little wider. It was like finding hidden treasures, making them feel like they weren't just neighbors, but two people who understood each other in a deeper way. The afternoon sun began to cast long shadows through the window, but neither Jason nor Noah seemed to notice the time passing. They were too busy talking, laughing, and sharing stories. "You know," Jason said, picking up another cookie, "these are really good, but they'd be even better with a cup of tea. Would you like some?" Noah's face lit up. "I'd love some. I was just thinking that." He felt a sense of contentment, a warm feeling spreading through him. This wasn't just a quick chat at the door. This was an invitation to stay, to share more time. Jason smiled, pleased. "Great. What kind do you like? I have pretty much everything." He rose from the couch, heading towards the kitchen. Noah followed him, feeling completely at ease in Jason's home. The smell of fresh cookies still lingered, now mixing with the promise of warm tea. This simple offer felt like a quiet step forward, extending their time together and deepening the cozy atmosphere that had begun to bloom between them. They sat across from each other, mugs of warm tea steaming gently between them. The conversation, which had flowed so easily before, now quieted. It wasn't an awkward silence, but a comfortable one, filled with the soft clinking of cups and the gentle rustle of leaves outside. Noah took a sip of his tea, feeling the warmth spread through him. He glanced at Jason, who was looking out the window, a thoughtful expression on his face. In this quiet space, unspoken feelings seemed to grow. Noah felt a strong sense of peace, a feeling he hadn't known he was missing until now. It was the kind of silence that happens when two people are truly at ease, their minds and hearts in tune. Jason turned his head, catching Noah's eye, and a soft, knowing smile passed between them. There was a shared warmth, a quiet understanding that went beyond words. It felt as if they were both thinking the same happy thoughts, enjoying the simple presence of the other. The room hummed with a gentle, unspoken promise. In that comfortable quiet, as Noah watched Jason take another sip of tea, a surprising feeling bloomed in his chest. It wasn't just neighborly warmth or friendly ease anymore. It was a definite flutter, like tiny butterflies taking flight. He thought back to Jason's easy laugh, the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled, the genuine interest he showed in Noah's hobbies. These were not the feelings you had for just any friend. Noah realized, with a jolt that was both thrilling and a little bit scary, that his feelings for Jason were much stronger than simple friendship. He liked Jason. He liked him a lot. It was more than just liking. It was a deeper pull, a desire to spend more time with him, to know everything about him. The thought made his heart beat a little faster. This visit, sparked by a plate of cookies, had turned into something truly special, something that felt like the beginning of a brand new, wonderful story. Son, too, found himself caught in the quiet warmth of the afternoon. He had invited Noah in out of politeness, a neighborly gesture, but the ease of their conversation had surprised him. He usually kept to himself, finding comfort in his routines and his quiet home. Yet, with Noah here, the house felt brighter, the air lighter. He enjoyed Noah's genuine enthusiasm for old movies and his earnest questions about gardening. It wasn't just small talk, it was real connection. Jason realized he was smiling more than usual, a deep, happy smile that reached his eyes. Noah's presence was simply pleasant. More than pleasant, it was captivating. He found himself wanting to know more about Noah, to hear more of his stories, to see that gentle smile again and again. This wasn't just enjoying company. It was a strong pull, a quiet realization that he liked Noah, perhaps even more than he had ever liked anyone before. It was a sweet, unexpected discovery. The comfortable quiet stretched, broken only by the gentle sounds of the house. Noah finally broke the silence, his voice soft, almost a murmur. He began, looking at his tea mug, then up at Jason. This has been really nice. Just spending time with you. It was a simple sentence, but the way Noah said it, with a hint of shyness and genuine warmth, made Jason's heart give a little skip. It wasn't just a polite statement. It felt like a little gift, a gentle confirmation of the good feeling that had settled between them. Noah's eyes, wide and earnest, met Jason's, and in that shared look, the unspoken feelings seemed to grow even stronger. Jason felt a flush of pleasure. It really has been, he agreed, his voice a little softer than usual. He leaned forward slightly, a genuine, open smile on his face. The afternoon had started with a playful joke, but it had turned into something much more meaningful, something truly sweet. It really has been, Jason said, his voice soft and sincere, agreeing with Noah. As he spoke, he reached out, his fingers lightly brushing Noah's arm, a small, gentle touch that was both casual and meaningful. It was a gesture born of comfort and a quiet show of his growing interest. Noah felt the light touch, a warmth spreading from where Jason's fingers met his skin. A shiver, not of cold, but of something electric, ran through him. He looked at Jason, whose eyes held a new depth, a warmth that mirrored Noah's own feelings. In that moment, the air between them thickened with unspoken possibility. The small touch spoke volumes, more than any words could. It said, "I feel it too. This is good." Jason left his hand there for a beat longer than strictly necessary, a silent question hanging in the air. Noah didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned slightly into the touch, a small, hopeful smile gracing his lips. It was a quiet confirmation, a shared moment of discovery. The light touch lingered, a silent promise. Finally, Jason reluctantly pulled his hand away, but the warmth remained. "So," Jason began, a hopeful note in his voice, "since you're so good with rosemary, maybe you could come over sometime and give me some real gardening tips? I've got a few other plants that could use your magic touch." Noah's smile widened, a genuine, joyful expression. "I'd love that, Jason. Just let me know when works for you." He felt a rush of excitement, the thought of spending more time with Jason filling him with happiness. This wasn't just about gardening. It was about another chance to connect, to explore this new, exciting feeling between them. "How about Saturday afternoon?" Jason suggested, his eyes bright. "We could tackle the rosemary, and maybe I could even try making some tea to go with your cookies." "Perfect," Noah agreed, a lightness in his step. They had moved beyond polite smiles and waves, beyond neighborly favors. They were now actively seeking each other out, eager for the next opportunity to share space, laughter, and perhaps something even sweeter. With plans made for Saturday, Noah finally stood to leave. "Thanks again for the tea, Jason, and for not making fun of my cookie-making secret," he joked, a soft smile on his face. "Never," Jason promised, walking him to the door. "Thank you for the cookies, Noah, and for the company. It was really good." Their eyes met again, holding a silent conversation of shared warmth and anticipation. As Noah stepped out into the late afternoon sun, a feeling of pure happiness bubbled inside him. The world seemed a little brighter, the air a little crisper. He walked back to his house with a spring in his step, his mind already drifting to Saturday. He thought about Jason's laugh, his kind eyes, and the way he had listened so intently. What started as a simple act of neighborly kindness had blossomed into something unexpected and wonderful. Noah was excited, truly excited, about what might come next, about all the sweet possibilities waiting to unfold. Son stood at his doorway, watching Noah walk across the lawn and disappear into his own house. A soft, hopeful smile played on Jason's lips. The lingering warmth from Noah's presence filled his living room, a pleasant contrast to the usual quiet. He traced the rim of his empty tea mug, the scent of chocolate and sea salt still faint in the air. He hadn't expected this afternoon to turn into anything more than a brief exchange of cookies. But Noah, with his easy laugh and surprising humor, had somehow peeled back layers Jason hadn't even realized were there. He found himself replaying their conversation, the shared laughs, the comfortable silences, and especially that light touch on Noah's arm. It felt good, surprisingly good. Jason's gaze drifted to Noah's house, a sense of anticipation bubbling within him. Saturday. It felt like a long way off, but the thought of it brought a fresh wave of warmth. He was genuinely looking forward to it, to another chance to talk, to laugh, and to see where this unexpected connection might lead. Later that evening, as the stars began to the darkening sky, both Jason and Noah were lost in their own thoughts. Noah sat on his porch, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves, a soft smile on his face. He thought about the afternoon, how it had unfolded from a simple plate of cookies into something truly special. He had known Jason was a kind neighbor, but he hadn't known he could feel this way about him. It was an unexpected joy, a delightful surprise to find such deep, warm feelings for someone living right next door. Across the lawn, Jason was also reflecting. He was usually content with his quiet life, but today, something new and wonderful had entered it. He realized how much he had enjoyed Noah's company, how much he looked forward to seeing him again. It was a sweet, exciting discovery, finding that his polite neighbor could stir such warmth and happiness in his heart. Both men felt a quiet wonder, thankful for the small gesture that had opened the door to such a lovely, unexpected possibility. The next morning, the sun shone brightly, carrying with it the promise of a beautiful day. For Jason and Noah, that promise felt extra special. Their polite smiles, once simple greetings, now held a new depth, a secret language only they understood. They had found something sweet and unexpected in their quiet neighborhood, a joy born from cookies and shared laughter. The gardening session on Saturday was just the beginning. They knew there would be more tea, more cookies, more talks about old movies and struggling rosemary plants. Each moment would be a chance to explore this new path they had found together, a path filled with warmth, genuine interest, and the exciting thrill of discovery. The future stretched out, filled with the promise of many more sweet moments to come, slowly unfolding just like a perfect love story.